Getting 40 new maps added to Team Fortress 2 is one of the craziest things Valve has done in a single update ever since TF2 was a thing. The fact that this is not the only thing that was added to the game is insane on its own. Unfortunately, I was not yet able to test out the Saxton Hill game mode related maps, but I surely spent quite a bit of time exploring the others to make a good opinion about each and one of them. Starting with one of my biggest disappointments, Shark Bay. I was really excited to learn that this map is going to be added to the game, as it was one of the first to get leaked as potential entries. On paper, it looked really cool and exciting, however, as I actually got the chance to play on it, I was quickly disappointed. Every part of the map that leads from spawn to capture the point is extremely repetitive and boring. Of course, it fits the map's idea and TF2's general industrialism theme, but it just seems so soulless. It reminds me of Vanguard. Yet another very boring map that does not have any particularly interesting monuments to extinguish it from itself. On the bright side, I did like the middle point of Shark Bay. It is quite an open location with just enough objects to give you the ability to hide from certain sightlines, but it also is a pretty exciting experience to fight for the first point for the first time, pushing some of the players into the water for the sharks to feast on. After all, my main issue with the map is not how boring anything past the middle point looks. It's the fact that if the teams are unbalanced even by little, it becomes a spawn camping fest. All in all, I give this map a score of 3 out of 5 seals. The map that took away the spotlight from Saxton Hill, and to many, a symbol of apology from Valve. While it is truly a hilarious addition to an already anecdotal video game that Team Fortress 2 is, I must say that the seal is not my favorite part of the map. What I really like is the overall theme. Kind of reminds me of a calm, northern United States town that relies on fish export and a single bar that everyone goes to. Not to forget the fact that they all drive pickup trucks. Selbian was the last piece of evidence I needed to confirm my thesis that this update is truly packed of surprises. You see, beforehand, Valve would rarely allow you to get on certain roofs that looked unintendedly placed, but now you can do so much more vertically than ever before. Combining the vast amount of roofs this map has with many classes' abilities to ascend vertically, it makes for an interesting battle in such a compact map, as long as your teammates and enemies can utilize their Spider-Man skills. 4.5 out of 5 seals, making it 5 out of 5, because it's the seal map! Now let's take a trip to a completely different map, Phoenix. It is a payload map, which is most often the most exciting to explore. Wait, this isn't Phoenix? This is Route 66 from TF2's spiritual successor, Overwatch. Or is it Overwatch 2? I can't tell the difference. Phoenix is definitely my favorite map of the update, featuring a stunning, well-planned, and most importantly innovative take on one of the most popular Team Fortress 2 modes. In my opinion, the map is made up from 3 separate episodes: the open field, the continuous chokes, and lastly, the Mount Phoenix. To say that this map fits TF2's color scheme is an understatement. It feels like TF2 was made for this map, not the other way around. The way leading to the first point is particularly beautiful and features a lot of high ground vantage points, making it quite difficult for the blue team to push. However, if they do get past it, an easier choke push comes around, where you have the chance to surprise your opponent. Nonetheless, the best, most important and innovative part of the map is definitely the last push. While it technically does not provide a new way of playing it, it certainly makes the most of having a card that rolls back if left untouched. All in all, the map is completely stunning and by far my favorite of the update, receiving 5 out of 5 seals from me. I am completely addicted to playing it. Hopping game modes once again, let's take a look at King of the Hill Rotunda. The map definitely has a distinct style, unlike some other contestants. For some reason, it reminds me of Half-Life Alyx. I am not sure if it's the layout or the colors used for the level. There is not much I can say about the map itself, as it is a pretty straightforward map, but I must say it is definitely an enjoyable King of the Hill map. Considering I dislike about 40% of the existing ones, I was really happy to discover that the new one is not only beautiful, but enjoyable to play. Also, it has a moving train that can help you reach the middle point. How cool! This map receives 4 out of 5 seals from me, as I think it should have had an easier way for most classes to reach the high ground of the middle point. Also, I faced some weird glitches the second day of playing where a lot of the objects would completely disappear, making it quite difficult to play if you don't quite know the entire map and where the objects are placed. Venice has to be one of the prettiest looking maps from the update too. It is hard to judge because most of them are particularly beautiful, but it definitely makes the top 3. I played this map quite a bit in numerous different classes, and what I liked most about it is that each capture point differs in how well you can utilize each class. The starting point is definitely a sniper's dreams land, while the choker future points favor heavies, demomen and engineers. Scouts always find a place alongside spy due to the big amount of corridors surrounding the area. While the map perhaps isn't actually very lengthy, pushing the cart or defending against blue doing so definitely felt like a stretch. But I do not mean it from a disappointed perspective. It was fun throughout it all, because I was able to discover new places to go to, flanks to utilize and strategies to think of. 5 out of 5 seals. Reckoner is certainly a classic. It has been part of the unofficial competitive map roster for years and years now. Obviously, the map is great and surely stood the test of time. The textures still look modern, the layout is more than fair for a 5CP map, but as with any 5CP map played in a public server, it faces the same problem. It was not made for it, making a lot of the points, especially the last one, extremely difficult to push. Other maps such as Process, Badlands and Gully Wash also suffer from this issue. I think the only fair solution to this would be to increase the respawn time rates and let the team that gets more kills in a period of time get the upper hand and push further into the round. This classic map receives an easy 4.5 out of 5 seals from me because it was originally intended for 6v6. Besides the push issue and maybe lack of textures, it does not struggle more than any other 5CP map within the game, making it one of the better ones for public servers. Pelican Peak. It takes quite a while to do a full circle with the intelligence, even as a force of nature bearing scout. I was very surprised to see how little fighting was actually happening between the teams in the middle of the map, considering that even when the server was completely full I would barely locate any intense fights featuring multiple people, so I got worried that the map would feel very lonely. But it was actually surprisingly balanced in that nature. I also loved the amount of jumpable roofs and sides of buildings. It helped me get around the map and fool enemies when I was on the verge of dying. The overall map theme reminded me a lot of CTF Double Cross. 3.75 out of 5 seals, could be more exciting in the middle. Sulfur, the next great steal. It is by far the most unique map of the update play-wise. It's a weird mixture of attack defense and the king of the hill. The final point of the map acts like a king of the hill point. The blue capture timer must be held by the blue team for the full duration to win, while red is able to retake it as a defending team. They win if they hold on to the point for the timer's duration. Capping any of the 3 external points takes away red's accessibility to the point and gives them more time needed to hold, while increasing blue's accessibility to the point and decreasing the blue's time required to hold. If all 3 points are captured, the match is won if blue captures that single D point. Quite confusing, I know, but once you get the hang of it, it's actually insanely fun. Also, let's not forget this. Oh yeah! Oh, but he didn't die. Okay, that part is gonna die, please! Yeah! I really like the theme of the map and that it is quite distinctly different from the rest. And of course, A+ for the innovativeness. 5 out of 5 seals. Would you believe if I told you that one of the new maps that were added in 2023 summer update is actually 14 years old? Yes, you heard me right. Cashworks was created by Arion in 2009. It is pretty insane to wrap around that not only the Saxton Hale game mode more than 10 years later got added to the game, but also a map this old, in the same update. It almost feels like nobody made maps for this update and Valve decided to just take some classics. Obviously not true, but it's quite a funny outlook. The map is fun. It's surely less insanely detailed compared to maps like Hardwood or Phoenix, but it's certainly a great map and the community seems to love it too. Most of my friends that have been playing Team Fortress 2 for many years seem to recall playing it unofficially at one point or another, myself included, hence making it their favorite map of the update. 4 out of 5 seals for the dedication and future proofing. Good job. The main issue I have with the map is that in most cases the blue team has more than 10 minutes to push the last point if they get past the first few hurdles. Hardwood, a real woodpecker's dream. A map that feels like Dust Bowl, but plays like something entirely new. It's a pretty large map that features a couple of capture points and a lot of close to mid combat. The map generally is quite open, there are enough objects and obstructions placed around it so that the combat is kept up close. Understandably, this map does not seem to be the most played out of the update, but at the same time it feels a little bit disappointing in that regard. I really hope that people will get around to playing it more, as the map is truly fascinating. The theme of the map may remind you of CTF Landfall, but the gameplay is utterly different. Another 5 out of 5 seals map, and definitely in the top 3 most beautiful ones of the update.